Hello everybody, NGS here, and welcome back to Helck episode 10, in which Helck will defeat the king of barbarians. I assume I have a good basis to assume that it will indeed be the case that Helck wins this battle. It can't really go any other way, can it? So yeah, that's what we will most probably see in today's episode. What happened in the last episode? Well, we will, of course, see the whole last time on Dragon Ball Z reminder before the episode starts. But in short, Helck, Vermilio, and Pee-wee arrived to the continent after beating the Kraken, which Helck did, got himself out of that whirlpool and swam safely to the shore and welcomed Vermilio there. Then they were captured, quote-unquote, by a couple of strange blue creatures, which are people of a certain nation that lives there in a ruined city, in a ruined country, who were cursed to look that way by a group of barbarians. There is 60 of those barbarians, supposedly, from what we've learned, and they were given superpowers, or rather, we don't know if they were given superpowers. They one day just had them. One day they just became strong enough to, just 60 of them, beat an entire country into submission. I have a sneaking suspicion that humanity is responsible for that, that it was the human king who gave those barbarians their abilities, their newfound abilities. But what is true, well, we will see, of course. And then the barbarians arrived to the country, and Helck cannot withstand such injustice and such barbaric behavior, so of course he decided to get involved and save the princess of the nation that captured them from the barbarian king. Defeated all the mooks without any issue, just slapping them left and right, which was glorious, by the way, and then in the end knocked out the king of the barbarians, who then started bleeding out of his pores and turned into a huge hulking monster, which again I assume is a side product of whatever power it was they were given. And now the battle starts for real, and the king will be probably dead very, very soon. And that's basically it. And the one only thing I expect from today's episode is the fight with that king. That's what's going to happen. Give me a moment, please. I need to put the curtain thing down because it's really sunny outside today. There it is. Now I can see the screen clearly. And I also had to fiddle around with the image warmth, lower it a little bit, and I think the visual on the camera is a little bit better now. And holy shit, it's hot and stuffy today in September. 27 degrees inside, 28 almost. Global warming, hooray! Okay, regardless, fight. That's what I expect. And that will probably be what I get to see. Helck and Vermilio, I fully assume that Vermilio will want in on the fun, fighting against the Tothman king. Tothman, that's the tribe of the barbarians. And is the nation that kidnapped, that captured Helck, Eril? Because I see a character Eril Hime, so Princess Eril. Is it her name, or is it like the princess of the Eril people? I'm not sure. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter all that much, does it? Right, we should see this episode, as I already said many a time. So how about we do just that? To do it, you will of course need your subs to follow along with me. I'm going to need my sound to hear what's going on in the show. There we go. I think I'm framed correctly. And I'm also going to have to ask you guys for your support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with all of that out of the way, we can start watching Helck episode 10 in 3, 2, 1, go. Yep, last time on Dragon Ball Z. Okay, so it is Kingdom of Eril. Brief summary. And the opening. There's really something very old school, I guess, about having a summary of the previous episode before the opening, right? It's usually, nowadays, it's really not a thing. Usually studios try to squeeze out every single minute out of the runtime, so there isn't, you know, any preview of the next episode, any recap of the previous one. That's another way in which Helck really feels like something that could have come out early 2000s, late 90s perhaps even. It's cool having a little bit of an old school show made nowadays with like modern technology. Then again, Helck doesn't really utilize it all that much. Some particle effects here and there, some lighting. It doesn't use CG, which, hey, great. It's a good old school battle, combat, adventure, shonen anime. Actually kind of seinen at times, perhaps. And yeah, we're looking for a map. The fight with the Tothman King isn't even the highlight of the episode, right? It's not called Tothman King or anything like that, or the final showdown. No, in pursuit of the map. This is just a stepping stone, it's whatever. Okay, there's quite a bit of power behind that strike. But absolutely zero thought. How to handle him? Just punch him! What more do you need? Burn, punch. And it will regrow. Won't it? Of course it will. Now it's this weird purple magic. Yep. A Tothman hero, I assume, or an attempt at creating a hero. Okay, I like that it's like an actual vibe and not the, you know, visualized aura of intimidation and whatnot. No, it absolutely, it was just the air moving around. No, his chin is cracking and his entire body is cracking. What? Excusez-moi? Okay. Okay, so that's how it works. You essentially put all of your remaining life energy into a single moment. Purple magic. No, it's purple magic fuckery. Lay down your weapons. There we go. Easy. Yeah, they were also the victims of their king. Yeah. They were peaceful folk. Their king just was a warmonger. The aerial people detransforming. Yeah, the source of their curse has been destroyed, so they are reverting. Do they look much different, I wonder? Or do they look the exact same but are a different color? Okay, they look different. I thought the joke is going to be that they look exactly the same but used to be red and now they're purple. I don't know, they're little, like, boar people. And she's normal! That's an anime trope if I've ever seen one. Men looking very much animalistic and the girls being just kemono mimi. Yeah. Okay, is it going to be Anne or Vermel? Not Vermel. Vermilio. Okay, Anne. Helck and Anne. Okay, Anne-chan. Not even Anne, just Anne-chan. Okay, I guess that works. And a grand feast at the end of the adventure. I mean, they don't have much to feast on, but it's the atmosphere that matters, of course. Okay, so we still have to cross a couple of other kingdoms. Saying his goodbyes, probably. Helck is, he feels fulfilled. It's cool. I like it. Yeah, he helped some folk to get from under the oppressive regime of an asshole, which is exactly what he's fighting against in human lands. Hmm. Well, that's interesting. Some powerful magic they obtained from the Human King again. or obtained otherwise. It doesn't have to be the human king, it can be a third party. That's a nice tune. And a human bard girl. I mean, human looking. Cowgirl of some sort, I think. Or a demon girl, maybe. How convenient. I mean, not like they have, like, photocopier eyes. Okay, so I guess it's a currency that isn't used in the demon realm. Okay. Can you exchange currency, perchance? Or are you going to look for an opportunity to earn? Doing some quest or something. Okay. Have the necessary... Yeah, it is. For Helck, it is. How about dragon extermination, perhaps? 50k? Okay, 30k. Exactly how much they need. So, the next arc is the cooking competition. We Shokugeki no Soma now. Yeah, probably. I mean, worth a shot. The entry fee is just 1,000 lin. Okay. Whomst. Okay. A fired up, young upstart of a chef. Or I guess an undefeated chef. That also works. Okay, this is legit turning into a battle shonen, but cooking. All of them bears. Of course. So, Shokugeki. What are they making? Boiled daikon. A body Ned pizza. Okay. Okay, so there's essentially a battle shonen going on here. Meanwhile, Helck and Vermilio are just, doing their thing, not caring about the world, just doing normal cooking. Okay, they got it all down to science. They can't get the fire started, or oh, okay, or that. That takes skill, doesn't it? Okay, we're getting Shokugeki no Soma moment, but PG. It's so dramatized. I love it. Yeah, that's something local to the Demon Lord country. Nobody else knows about it. Okay, he's fired up. I love it. I love it. And meanwhile, she keeps singing about Augis with Pee-wee. It's a really nice, captivating song. I love it. Of course. As befits a mascot character. Will it now? I mean, I guess the pizza stone can count as a pot. Okay, so they need 99 at least. No, it actually bodes very well. Exactly. Okay, so it can go above a 100. That's a clear win, if I've ever seen one. And thus, the cooking arc concludes. Getting some encouragement, of course, from the biggest rival. And he's fired up again. Such a shonen protagonist arc. Because, yeah, exactly. Too late. They've already won. But you can at least enjoy the food that Pee-wee bought. Conveniently. And it's all black. Simple enough, at a glance at least. Okay, I thought there's some radioactive fallout or something. But instead, it's the Warrior of Darkness. Which is actually kind of telling, because the Tothman King had that, black-purple magic. So you could conceivably call him a Warrior of Darkness, right? I wonder if there is another character who's also possessed by this magic. But seeing how easily Tothman King went down, I don't really see any bigger obstacles on our way. I mean, maybe. Of course, the difficulty will grow progressively, so possibly the Dark Warrior, or whatever the fuck he was called, is actually going to be a little bit harder to deal with. Yeah, we'll see. And okay, I thought it's gonna be a some after credits scene, but no, it's just a preview of the next episode, the Troubadour's Song. So I assume she will be joining us on our adventure. Is she listed as a character? She is. Iris. Okay, that's cool. So. How about we watch this episode again, shall we? Okay. I skipped the preview because preview. It's strong, very strong. The Tothman King. It can regenerate wounds that were dealt with magic, apparently. But it seems to not be able to regenerate wounds dealt by physical force. Also, holy shit, Helck didn't even touch him. It's just the wave of air, the displaced air caused by his punch that just ripped his arm to shreds. Helck really is just Saitama. Also, I love this shot. How detailed it is. The line art on the fist. It's great. He didn't use any magic, indeed. All that damage came purely from the force of his patch, absolutely. And apparently that couldn't be regenerated. And the Tothman King started cracking. I thought for a moment that he might be entering some second phase. Essentially, he cracks, his skin falls off, and from inside bursts a skinless flesh monster, or, you know, something of the sort. But no, it seems like legit, it just was defeated. He exhausted all his remaining life energy just for that momentary boost of power. So I assume he regenerated his arm after Vermilio severed it because it had enough life energy left, but it wasn't able to regenerate another wound of a similar caliber because it no longer had enough life left in it. That's why Helck's attack had a permanent effect. Probably. And then he just crumbled apart like a piece of rock, and apparently it felt nice. Okay, sure. Different strokes for different folks and all that. Even his skeleton disappeared to dust. He was never actually strong enough to pose a real threat to us. Indeed. So why was I intimidated? Probably because that is one of the effects of the magic. It doesn't just strengthen the target, but also makes others intimidated by it. That would be my guess. So that you don't even need to use your magic to intimidate others into submission. That would be my guess. The instant that he started to transform, I felt a chill go down my spine. Could also have to do with the general nature of this magic. The purple magic might be somehow unnatural, against the order of the world, or whatever you want to call it. And Vermilio, as a magic user, is sensitive to that. So she was able to sense that, hey, this magic shouldn't exist. This magic is wrong. And that gave her the shivers, the creeps. Probably. Let's see. Purple magic of Thothman King is somehow unnatural. In that it's not one of the like established branches of magic or whatever, but rather some, you know, some artificially created construct or whatever. Yeah, probably not one of the effects, not one of the abilities of the barbarian tribe, because if so, then the goons would also use it to stand a chance in battle. Can't be because of the toxin, of course. Something feels off, and my belief is that something is the artificiality of this magic, the artificial nature of that. Perhaps, again, the results of experimentation by humans, so that they don't experiment on themselves with empowering themselves, but rather start by experimenting on other humanoids. And if it works on other humanoids, well, we can reasonably start human trials. This seems to have had too many downsides, like consuming all of the life energy remaining through the transformation. And all of them were, of course, unable to defy their king, perhaps intimidated by the magic. Perhaps it is the nature of the magic that intimidates other creatures. or the ability that the Tothman King was given, as besides the transformation purple magic smoke thing. And yeah, everybody's changing. I really was expecting some sort of a not a reversal, not a whatchamacallit. Fuck. I was expecting to be surprised by what's going to happen. I was fully expecting them to turn the exact same but have a different skin color. Because it would be funny how they said at the beginning that, oh, the Tothman King turned us into those hideous forms, and then they get transformed back, and it turns out that it was just their skin color that made them hideous in their own eyes, or something along those lines. But no, they genuinely look different, like a nice, friendly bunch of boar people, of fluffy boar people. Except the princess, who is just the fucking Kemono Mimi. And it even looks like her ears are not natural ears, but rather a headband with ears attached. And it's just her nose that is natural, like pig nose. This is such a huge trope in anime. Whenever we deal with animal-like characters, with humanoid animals, the males of that species are all very animalistic, very animal-like. They have animal heads and whatnot. Meanwhile, the girls are just pretty girls, but they have Kemono Mimi ears and maybe some fur on their cheeks or something like that. Essentially like pulled from Monmusu or any other given Kemono Mimi character. That's another way this seems like a very classic show made in, again, early 2000s, late 90s. We can once again enjoy the peace and freedom of our kingdom. Yeah, now we can rebuild. Helck being his humble self, as always. Helck and Anchan. Praise Helck, praise Anchan. I was half expecting her to say Vermilio, like out of reflex. Someone asks her name and she just says Vermilio, and it's revealed that it is actually her and not Anne from management. But no, we are keeping up the charade. And this, it's hard to call it a feast, but this party by the flame, it really reminded me of like Asterix and Obelix. Asterix and Obelix. Yeah, Asterix and Obelix movies. They always end with some sort of a feast after the adventure is done, after our heroes save the day. There's a feast, there's a fire, and there's a boar being cooked on that fire. Well, we can't exactly cook a boar in this case, but apples will do. It's such a blast of nostalgia. I really need to rewatch the old school Asterix and Obelix movies because they were amazing. They were my childhood. We can find a map. We have 2 kingdoms on our way. Helck saying his last goodbyes. He feels fulfilled. That's good. That's what he wants to do. He wants to save the nice people from the bad people. That's his goal ultimately. Humanity is bad people. Demons and other races are the good people, so Helck wants to defeat humanity to save the others from being, destroyed and overridden. Not the best word to use here, but whatever. By the human scourge. So this is like a miniature version of fulfilling his life's goal. It's cool. I like it. And he likes it. A really violent war broke out between the 2 nearby kingdoms, and they were both just blasted into air with no trace remaining. Curious. Also, interesting city. Interesting that they would build it outside of like vegetation zones. There is some vegetation here. Sure, the rest is the desert, but I don't know, seems like a very weird location for a city. It's not centered around any sort of an oasis or anything of the sort, just a city in the middle of the desert. But it seems prosperous enough. Plenty of trade, plenty of culture. I love this song. I really want like a standalone version of it. You know, it's really so nice. It reminds me a lot of Calonetta's song in The Witcher 3. Similar vibes where I just, put down my gamepad, just leaned back in my chair, closed my eyes, and listened to the song. It's great. It's great. This character, I want to check that, is voiced by Aimi. There we go. Who is a voice actor and a musician, lead vocalist and guitarist of Poppin' Party. Well, I know what I'm gonna listen to later today. Dreamt of being a singer, participated in some contests. Okay, contests. She had a role in Idolmaster, because of course. Who else? Jujutsu Kaisen, Bank Dream, Shoujo Magical Destroyers, apparently. Any other roles I would know? I wonder. Mostly Sims musical songs. Milark? Okay, she's Milark from Symphogear. Symphogear really got just all of the singers and placed them in the roles of voice actors, didn't they? Card Fight, Hentai OG, and theme song lyrics. OP2? Okay, so we already know who's gonna be performing the second OP for Helck. That's curious. And some other roles. Theme song performance in Lotte no Omocha as well, curiously enough. Okay. So we know who she is. Really nice song. Augis, Augis. We have a map, but oh no, it costs a lot of money and we don't have enough. But oh yes, would you look at that? A convenient contest where we can win exactly the amount of money we need and then some. I love how it just... Helck and Vermilio were just, doing what they're supposed to do, just cooking normally, and around them, that fierce competition, that fucking Shokugeki no Soma battle shonen was going on. This is great. This is great. Cooking some daikon and carrots and brown carrots or something in hot sauce, I assume. Kneading pizza with his stomach. I don't know why, but the first thing that came to my mind is that, like, that fan service of washing the main character's body with the naked body of one of the members of the harem, right? It's kind of like this, but kneading pizza. And if this was a hot girl, I assume there would be plenty of, people who would really want to have a taste of this pizza, but it's a fat bird dude. I mean, I guess it's his technique, so who am I to judge, right? Meanwhile, the shonen protagonist, really, that's what he is fired up because, oh yeah, competition, I can show what I'm worth. Meanwhile, Helck is just killing it. And they work in perfect sync because, of course. And we get a little bit of a miniature Shokugeki no Soma moment. She's not quite getting naked, you know, bursting out of her clothes like it would be in Shokugeki no Soma, but it's close. It's close. Right. Oh no, I am losing. I'm getting discouraged. They are in a completely different league than me. But yes, this feels great, having some competition. I'm fired up again. The power of friendship. I love him. He's just a one-off character who we will never see again, but he's great. Like, I want to see a spin-off anime about his journey through, like, cooking competitions of the world. The cooking round of the new Demon Lord competition with ease. Also, I love this. What's the Demon Lord competition? What the fuck is that? First I hear of it. This is great because the Demon Lord competition was shown as that like big, huge thing, right? The main drive for our plot and whatnot. But ultimately, it's fairly inconsequential in the grand scale of the world. It's just something local to the demon country and the other countries. Why would they be really interested in it? Especially if they are like 2 countries away from the demon country. That's another example of how this show makes the world seem large, seem bigger than shown, really, right? Because not everything is centered around the demon country and the human country. There are other countries with their other strives, as we've seen through the country of the Aerials. And the other countries might not even know of what's going on in the demon country, of what's going on with the humans. It's something that's going on the other side of the continent. Why would I be interested in that? Why would anybody, bring any news about it? It's something going on over there. It doesn't concern me. It doesn't concern them. So they have no clue. It's great. It really shows the vastness of the world. Very often shows really fail at that, at showing the vastness of the world by essentially having human country, demon country. I already talked about it in the previous episode, I believe. And that's it. And everything else is just decoration. Maybe elf country is mentioned somewhere. Beastful country is maybe mentioned because one of the harem members is from there. But ultimately, it's just a human country and a little sliver of the demon country. This really shows us that the world is actually big, actually large. And yeah, he gets fired up because, of course. Pee-wee actually adds a little bit to this song, adds another instrument, essentially. It's cool. I like it. I really like this song. I really enjoy it. Please tell me there's like a standalone version of it. I would love it. Tasting. It was good, but way too spicy. This is pizza a one-pot dish? Discuss in the comments. Is pizza a one-pot dish? Because I would argue it is. I would argue it is. Then again, I guess you might have to, like, if you don't have tomato paste at the ready or tomato sauce, you would need to boil tomatoes in another pot to make the sauce. So I guess maybe it's not one pot because you need the pot to make the sauce and you need the pizza stone or some other like oven insert to bake it on. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like 2-pot dish max. Ajikaba, you're too much of a greenhorn to be cooking a dish like this. You stupid chowder head. But it did taste good, 98 points. And I really thought that we're cutting it close, that they're gonna need 99 or 100, and it's gonna be really, really close, really, really tight. But no, it apparently can go above 100. And they got an easy win with 120 points. Okay, sure. And another piece of shonen protagonist arc. I hit my limit. Is there really any point in fighting on? But then the biggest rival approaches and says, "Oh, you did well, young man. I see potential in you." It's great. I love the character arc this one-off random bear dude went through in the span of half an episode. What do we have here? A couple of cities. I assume this is the shore where we landed. Or no, I think this is the shore where we landed. This would be like the two warring countries. Yeah, this would be the two warring countries. This tiny thing might be the Aerial Kingdom. So we need to go in that direction towards the Empire. From what I can see, do they have a rail system? That's cool. That's interesting if they actually have a rail system. Dragon Empire, apparently. Is the Demon Empire called the Dragon Empire by the outsiders? Or is a Dragon Empire something else completely? Don't go into the abandoned territory of the two kingdoms, because a warrior of darkness lurks around these parts. 2 shot from Helck maximum. That would be my guess. 2, 3 punches tops. I really don't expect it to take any more than that. Yeah. Okay. The rest is just the ending and the preview of the next episode. The Troubadour's Song. So probably Augis? Are we headed to Augis? Maybe something like that. Right, all right. That was episode 10 of Helck, and as usual, it was great. Not... Again, I have to say that not all that much happened quantitatively, but a lot has happened when it comes to the implications, the meaning, right? A lot of meaningful stuff has happened, I guess you could say it. But again, this show is scheduled to have 24 episodes, so they can let themselves have a little bit of a slower pace, which is perfectly fine. Right. Do I need to say anything more? Except just repeating myself that I really love the second part, the cooking, whatchamacallit, shonen, battle shonen arc. This was great. Such a very extremely shonen story encompassed in just a half episode. That was great. I love how the world grew with just a single sentence, really, spoken by just a random person, by just random audience. The world immediately grew in size. And we also got to see a map, which additionally justifies what we might be led to believe the size of the world is. Something fucky-wucky is going on in the world at large, or at least on this continent. This is great. This is great because it gives us another storyline to follow, another plot line, right? It's no longer just having to go back to the demon country. It still is that, of course, but at the same time, they need to go through all sorts of lands, all sorts of kingdoms where something fucky is going on. And I suspect the cause of all of that is the same. What is it? We don't know yet. I have my suspicions, of course, but nothing is there to confirm or deny them quite yet. Right now, we just know that something's amiss. Because sure, the Tothman King suddenly getting superpowers. Okay, maybe he ate some weird fruit or dug some mineral or found a relic that turned him into this monster. Whatever, you could reasonably explain it as a one-off thing. But now we learned that 2 whole countries just exploded overnight, and now there is a warrior of darkness going around there. So it's another country that was brought to ruin by another odd character, odd being that probably wasn't there before, but now it is. So is the case of the Tothman King and the case of the Warrior of Darkness connected? Possibly. They don't have to be, we have no proof, but you can start piecing together what is probable, what is possible, and that's great. They don't show us immediately that, oh, it was the human king who experimented on them and gave them the powers and left them on their own because the experiment wasn't successful enough or whatever. Kinda reminds me of Cartaphilus from Ancient Magus Bride, by the by. It's not that. It's not necessarily that. We don't know if it's that. It might not be. It might not be. We aren't told that straight. We have to piece that all together. It's a slow burn, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that this show doesn't talk exposition at me, but allows me to form my own theories, form my own opinions, and then check them against the reality of what the show actually shows. It's cool. I really like the way Helck works as a show. Anything else? I think that's it. I don't think I need to spend any more time talking about it, but maybe you guys do. Maybe you want to say something more. Say so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? No spoilers, please. Spoilers, go to the Discord here and also in the description below. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Helck, but also Magia Records, Zom 100, Undead Girl Murder, Farce, Atelier, Rise, Nanatsu and Gash Haisuru, and Ancient Magus Bride, and others coming at you in the future. I also released a reaction to the trailer of the next Madoka Magica movie, so you might want to check that out if you want. I also stream sometimes, mostly gacha games, sometimes Gunpla building, so click the bell to be notified of when I go live. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, linked down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Magia Record, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the list of my wonderful patrons: Cubu without Undead, the Corporal Survivors, and Zetren, Zayrain, Arakamancer, Marsh, Fassel, Dr. Watt, Yukala, and Hans Peter. And you can join them without the need to win a cooking competition.